is it's improved inventory and order management. And then third important thing that we have to discuss is all about asset tracking. So asset tracking is very simple. Like, so you would have observed in factories, they'll have pallets and other objects, right? Assets for keeping all this inventory and everything. So each time you cannot keep a CCTV camera, or you cannot keep eye on all your employees and other resources to check whether the pallet is missing or not, or the pallet is being taken to the other place. But when you have RFID tags attached to all the pallets, you will understand how the pallet is moving, or where the pallet is being taken, or even if there is any missing content inside the pallet, you will be able to understand, so that you get a clear view on your assets and you can manage it properly. And finally, the one important thing that we see in RFID is all about shipping and receiving. See, one of the most important or the difficult task every factory is facing is all about shipping, and the other thing is invoice settlement. So when it comes to shipping, you must understand what product has to be shipped today and whether it is shipped and received at the logistic part, or the invoice are generated according to the shipping. In my own case, I have seen many cases. I've seen like people used to manufacture all our book materials, stencils, and all our kit materials, but they'll not raise their invoices. And after a month, I have to involve in the payment, and I have to check whether the invoice has been settled or not. Because the next time when I go, he must be in a position to cater to my needs, right? So even in MSME, people sometimes take invoice settlement as granted. So when you have RFID in place, you have a good product forecasting, because you will understand how what the need is, and how the previous cases have been, and what kind of market demand is being foreseen. So when you have all this, when you properly manage your inventory, one thing that you get is you can manage properly your products. You can know how it is moving. You will understand what are the process involved. You will have proper product forecasting, then improved inventory. Then, as we said earlier, it's asset tracking and shipping and receiving. Right. So, how RFID is a real promise in supply chain visibility, because right from morning we have been discussing about one of the most important thing is improved visibility in supply chain management. And that too, when we were discussing about this localization and also this regionalization, right? So there people would be expecting this supply chain visibility, and I'll let you know the benefits of RFID in improving the visibility. One thing is it reduces the operating cost, because you know where if the products are in place, so you'll not have to always depend on the human to transport and other things. So the management is easy, so your operation cost is decreased, and you can take a high level of data. I mean, the integrity, high level of data integrity can be provided by RFID, because you don't require the line of sight or direct contact to operate. So it can be read away from several meters. So as I said in the last case, there was a range, right? So 20 feet of range. So for every devices, you have a range, and with that, you will be able to read away from several meters without any physical contact. And then you have locating the products. I mean, the locating the products would be easy. The speed would be increased, and the agility in locating the product will also increase. The second most important is the human resources are really what a kind of a less human resources are only required to manage all this products. And next, the total cycle time is reduced, and recording of input and the output of material are really automated, which we were discussing in the morning, that we need complete or improved automation in SEM. And then when you have all these things in place, automatically you have increased efficiency in your process, right? Okay. So when you have all this in place, still you have concerns of RFID, right? Because people, uh, for all this technology, you have ifs and buts, and similarly to all the other technology, RFID still have some kinds of concern. The first thing is it can be read by anyone with a compatible reader, which results in less security. Though uh, though you manage your assets and all the other things, you manage your inventory, everything you can manage in the RFID. But one disadvantage that you have in RFID is it's all about the compatibility nature, because if someone has a reader which can read your RFID tags, then the security problems is really a question mark. And next, the implementation cost of RFID is really high, because for barcode, I don't know how many of them have experienced in taking out, pulling out the barcode. You have a small machine, and you give your input, what are the product details and other things, you feed it, and in a minute you just take printouts and you just stick it. But though you cannot scan the products multiply, or you cannot scan multiple products, but implementing barcode is very easy compared to RFID, where it involves a small microchip which can hold all your memories. So when it comes all these electronic devices, still RFID tags and the manufacturing of RFID tags have to increase, so that the product, the cost of RFID will really come down. But today, one of the most important concern for implementing, RFID is all about the cost. That is one thing that we do it. And next is, it is very difficult to gain the approval from the top management in completely changing entire inventory management and all asset tracking, and completely implementing RFID. So only in very big shops like Walmart, Amazon, or there are certain shops where they use RFID. But still, I find in the major factories, RFID has not been in place, and they're slowly trying to implement it, because getting a management approval for a very big budget is really difficult. So that is one of the concerns that we have in RFID. And last thing is, always the new technology will not be available to everybody, right? We are suppliers on RFID, because I see Renault Nissan. Yesterday, I was having a discussion with one of the key management people from Renault Nissan. There, he was just discussing about the partners, the suppliers. And it was very shocking to me that they manage around 1,200 suppliers for a single plant. So imagine the level of the team that requires to manage the entire supplier thing. And they have about 200 to 300 odd engineers just to manage the suppliers. The 1,200 suppliers. So when you have such kind of 1,200 suppliers, you cannot expect everyone to coordinate with you in setting up RFID. Though you get a brand position, though you can position your brand, the supplier's point of view, though they can position their brand in getting registered as a vendor for OEM. One one difficulty that they'll be facing is immediately implement the technology which has been it's just in the nascent state. So you cannot expect everyone to have this device with you. So these are all the concerns of RFID. So the once the compatibility and the security, all we were discussing, right, in earlier morning session, that risk management and mitigation, right? So you have to really study the risk involved in implementing RFID, and I believe as we enter into 2020, as it's a 24.5 billion US dollars market. So I think the compatibility nature and the security would be increased, and and then you have to improve or decrease the implementation cost, which is also a real concern. And then we'll have to find out a way so that all the suppliers get this kind of technology available to people, right? So this is all one such case study that we have in RFID. We just go through like how this RFID is used in real cases, right? uh, First thing that I would like to discuss is all about agriculture. In morning session we were discussing about one of the industry next to health and food is agriculture, right? So in agriculture, there is one case study where in a dairy farm, they have about 2,000 to 3,000 cows, right? So what they do, they tag, they stick, I mean, they punch all this RFID tags or they pierce it in the cow's ears or they keep it, and also they keep it in uh, I mean, the pallets, food pallets, or the other resources. I mean, the material to hold all the food and other things. So, what happens? You can first track the animals. I mean, you can track the movements of the animals whenever you let grass. Animals out. You can monitor the animal movement. And the second thing is the one big thing that they are doing is they are monitoring the intake of food by each cow. So each cow is assigned a pallet, right? Say for example, the cow may have one pallet where they'll have 1 kg of some food materials. So the cow is attached with RFID tag, and similarly the pallet is also attached with a RFID tag. So where once the quantity of that particular pallet is decreasing, it will get notified with the computer database, so that this will give you a real room understanding about how the intake has been consumed, how the cows are consuming the food, and they can also monitor the health, or they can find the reason for all if the animal doesn't take any food on time, or due to some situation, they'll be able to understand all the other cases, and they'll come to a conclusion why the food is taken on a large scale, or why the food is not taken as per the plan. So this is one advantage or one case study that I saw in agriculture field. And then next you have jewelry tracking. So one of the most crucial thing is all about jewelry tracking. And very recently, about 6 months before, uh, in a city called Trichy in Tamil Nadu, there was a very big theft where a very famous jewelry shop was taken away by two thieves, right? And they were really modern, and they were able to take everything. So once you have a item level tag for every jewelers, I mean for every rings or every jewelry, you'll be get notified, or you'll be able to at least understand where the jewelry is. And so this is an added advantage for all this jewelry makers and for the tracking. So right from the distribution center and ultimately to the store, and till it gets to the customer, what you can do, you can keep this RFID tags. But again, thinking about RFID tags in jewelry is again a costly affair, because already you know how the gold is priced. And if you add such kinds of RFID, the shop owners or the gold jewelers, they should not add those costs to us. In that case, if they are maintaining, or if they have tracking item for the safety of their shop, I think it can be prevented. And in defense stage, like they have a very big inventory of weapons, and also they need to track the soldiers. It's a similar to a GPS, right? So when it comes to weapons, so when each weapons are tagged, or whenever they have some problem in a battleground, they'll be able to understand the need, or they'll also understand how many bullets have been taken from this pallet, and how much have been consumed, whether the data is being read by the other battalion, to know whether to share any weapons with the present battalion to fight on ground, or the soldiers can be monitored, their movements can be monitored. So everything, it's as simple as the GPS, so that uh, you get the real time data for the defense. And one interesting thing that I saw a case study in RFID is all about laundry automation. It was really interesting to know about laundry automation. So when you have time, just go through this laundry automation case study. There is one factory that have about 2,000 employees, right? So all 2,000 employees are provided with two uniforms, two sets of uniform, right? And I mean, that particular company is so generous to wash even the uniform of all employees. So what they do, all the dresses, right, all the uniforms are tagged or attached with this RFID tag. So what they do, they get the real time data, as in like the age of the uniform. So because like if they give it in this Diwali, and if there is anything that if there is any complaint in the material, or if it is torn, or if there is any other issues in the material, they can assess the real data when they have delivered it and when they have purchased it, and all this data gets in. Right? Very interesting, right? And also they also maintain it in the washing. And I don't know how far it is really applicable in this situation. They even monitor whether the uniform is washed or not. So again, it's a matter of question whether like all these devices or waterproof and all those things. But it was really interesting to know that even people are use RFID in such kind of industry, right? So this is how RFID is used in different sectors in managing their processes. And one most important thing that we use in supply chain management is for two purposes. One thing is all about your inventory management. So when it comes to inventory management, you should know about the key aspects like monitoring, administering, or controlling, and how it is stored. So there are different aspects of inventory management. So you must be in a position to understand each process. I mean, where the material is. So RFID helps a lot in finding out or tracking all the stages. And then in warehouse. So we were discussing in the morning that warehouse is one of the most important key business opportunity that is present today for big investors. Because earlier in pre-COVID days, as in Tamil Nadu, I've heard people saying two things: either they'll invest money in real estate, or they'll invest money in gold. And the third option that was available to those people were they, they wanted to build marriage halls. So normally halls, function halls, but in particular, people were trying. The number of investment were really going on in constructing marriage malls. So there is one more concept which we need not discuss here, but I'll let you know that it's all a demographic dividend, right? So the working age population is about 65 percentage in India. So and this is the stage I could see everybody getting married. So people are not really getting space to get married in marriage hall. So there is a need for investment in marriage hall. But now those people who were really interested in investing in the marriage halls have really turned out to invest in warehousing. It's real fact, because there is one project company which used to take construction projects across South India, are getting requirements for building the state of the art warehouse, where they are trying to implement this RFID and all kind of leading automation with robots, with many kiosks, so that they'll not even if the cargo or the lorry comes in, all the input and the output data has to be taken by the kiosk, so that there is a minimum intervention of human in maintaining them. So people who have money they are really concentrating to build warehouses in different places, because only if they build warehouses and there is one opportunity in cold storage. Only if we have adequate number of warehouses and all the other resources, we will be able to realize the localization. Otherwise, we may not be able to understand this concept until we have at least for next 5 years or 10 years, because all of a sudden you cannot deconsolidate all your suppliers, right? Because till date we were all depend on some other country or some other state for all our supply needs. So all of a sudden, considering the consolidation of all these suppliers would not be an easy task. So what you can do, or what people are really thinking about, is to have a local warehouse, to get it on usage basis, because the SaaS model, right? So how much ever software or how much ever the services you use, you're being charged by that. So similarly, warehousing are coming in kind of a SaaS model, where you are being charged only for your space, not for the entire construction. If you do not have anything, you need not worry about the rent and the electricity and other things. So when you have smart warehouses, you can really support the localization, right? If not, the local vendors are not supporting the OEMs, the localization can also directly relate it to the warehousing, right? So you can ask people from other other states or other countries to store or manage everything in your warehouse, so that you have RFID, you can track it. Your When your work in progress, you'll know where the product is, what is the transit time, and whether it is in transit stage, or whether it is in the packaging stage. So you will be able to understand everything in your database, in your dashboard, so that, as we discussed, the operation cost drastically comes down, right? So this is all the advantage, or this is all the things that we have to really understand, why RFID is really important, or it's a game changer for every supply chain enthusiast, right? So as you know, the outbreak, the pandemic has given an opportunity for digitalization, right? So people call it as digital divide. So digital divide is actually creating space. It's widening. The space is really wide now. So everywhere there must be intervention from any subject matter experts in managing supply chain, right? So the one advantage or the one objective of this seminar, right from the morning, we have been discussing about supply chain, the opportunities, and we have been seeing everything in the eagle view perspective. So one outcome that I would expect from the participants is, because like you're all professors, you're all from the faculty fraternities. So what you can do, you can ask your students, or you can set up a project in managing this supply chain management. You can come out innovatively with different products. So by this way, what you can do is you can leverage the services of digital tools in managing the supply chains. Okay, right. So I think I've covered most of my contents today. It's now the time for question and answers. So we'll just discuss what went wrong, or what is to be added, or if you have any new idea. I think participants can really open up and you can come out with ideas, so that we'll be able to understand the new technologies that is not present.
Umar sir,
Yes, sir.
uh,
So here we
we
can
were
ask
discussing about
participants to
the
come out.
yes.
Yes, sir.
We were discussing about the RFID process so far. Is there
Yes, sir.
any other technologies apart from RFID, recent technologies?
Sir, actually, it is coming, sir. Like people are merging RFID with SAP. like there is one white paper from Infosys, so you can ask your faculty to download that white paper where people are connecting this RFID with their with their SAP content. So they are completely managing it, right? So the RFID is one of the technology which is being discussed, but is in the nascent stage. People are not completely accepting it because of the cost involved in that. And there are other devices like uh, there are many other GPS and other tags which have been coming in market. But as of now, just one technology or one device has to leverage this complete power so that I think in future we may have a lighter weight or cost efficient RFID tags.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Any questions from the participant side, sir?
It's open to now, open to everyone. Anyone can raise the question. If at all I get any from anything from comment box, I'll ask you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. So I think it will be nice if people from other parts open up and share your own case studies or something that you know about the recent trend, so that we'll or it is a collaborative learning where we'll be able to understand the other point of views also.
Yes. Amar, sir,
Yes, sir.
is there any possibility of combining that RFID process in digital marketing process?
Uh, Actually, sir, it's completely altogether different games. So, digital marketing is all about assessing your market. Your market and pitching it directly. For example, when you run an ad, you understand what demographic you are targeting, or what is the geographical location. For example, in FB, you have like you can understand the age group demographics like 18 to 25 and geographic locations like uh, Tamil Nadu or Kerala. And you can understand from data whether, suppose if you're selling a product, say for example, a cell phone or something. So you'll have to relate with the other interest, whether people have watched any ads. So it is all about taking out the data and applying it to create awareness. It's all about digital marketing. But when it comes to RFID, it is a physical tag. It's a physical object. So where it is kept to trace it, right? People have to fix it somewhere else. Maybe what you can do, you can fix the tags to your salesperson. So whenever they go out, or whenever they give some objects or something like that, along with some product management. So whenever they take products from the inventory, it can be notified. So it's altogether a different game, sir. Yes, sir.
No questions from audience side so far, sir.
Yes, sir.
And is there any topics left from our side?
I think I've completed most of the topics in RFID and other things, sir. So I think it will be easier if people have any provocations or some kind of thing, so that it will be interactive.
Yes, sir.
So I request the participants to come out with their own ideas, so we'll be able to understand like how you're viewing SEM, or you must have seen some case studies from your perspective. So I think maybe you can combine everything, right?
I'm getting few questions from comment box, sir.
Yes, yes.
And RFID, is it the same technology in used in foreign countries also, or they may have some other platform?
No, no, it's actually RFID. It's very simple, sir. It's like the technology is common everywhere. It is only that, and I mean, it depends upon the manufacturers, like how the specifications are. Like, and if you closely watch Walmart shops, if anyone have experience in visiting Walmart and other places, there is one shop in UK where I have seen, like there will not be anyone inside the shop. Even the shopkeeper will not be inside the shop. You can just straight away walk in. You can pick any product. Right. So when you enter, you will have some one ID, authorization ID. So we have some kind of Aadhaar card, right? So similarly, we have a kind of authorization ID to enter that particular shop. So once you show that authorization, the doors will be open. You can enter the shop. You can purchase anything. You can pick up anything from the rack. You can fill it up in the basket. And when you step out, the bill will be generated, and what you will have a swiping machine near that bill generating device. Then what you can swipe up and you can pay it and you can come. So the technology has come out a very different way, right? There are two things when we are discussing about this kind of technology. One thing is ethics, because people have ethics and people are really loyal to the shops, and people say that uh, if that has to be implemented in our place, I mean in our country, people have to be really ethical in that. People have to understand the technology, and they should not misuse the opportunity. But though the technology have its limits, and sometimes we are very tricky, right? So we'll find some other way to get I mean get out from those kinds of processes. So this is implementing RFID is very easy in foreign countries, but when it comes to our country, there are certain other factors which we need to understand. First, one is supplier. All suppliers may not have this technology. Then people must have a kind of authorization card, where we do not have such kind of facility here. And second thing is, here still the implementation cost is really high, because even I have visited factories like Tafe or very big industries like Ashok Leland. Even they have a very different kind of inventory management. There is one very big printing press in Sivagasi, in a town near Madurai, city of Madurai in Tamil Nadu. People call it as mini Japan, because you have maximum number of money circulation, and also you have uh, state of the art technologies. The location seems to be very rural, but you have the state of the art technology in printing and uh, I mean fireworks, right? So I have the opportunity to implement 5S for one of that particular factory. Right. In that particular factory, you won't believe it's one of India's biggest or largest capacity. Right. They have a very big capacity, and they have about I mean, they have about some 500 to 600 people on ground working in modern printing press. It's very big, right? When I saw their inventory, it was as simple as that. They did not have even the barcodes. Each inventory manager, or they call it as keeper, inventory keeper, they had a small note, a small note, and they used to note everything. And we are really surprised, because when it is of any other materials, like say for example, if it is of a mechanical factory, you can count the number of nuts or the other materials. But when it comes to printing press, right, printing factory and other places, how would one be able to understand or count the number of papers? But they were counting all those papers manually. That is all. So when they count manually, when they say 80 pages note, normally it will have only 60 pages or 70 pages. But if they implement RFID in that particular space, you can understand whether the papers are missing out or are we giving out less papers, because when it comes to export market, people really value the number of papers. If it's of 80 pages, it should be 80 pages. It should not be like 85 or 90 pages. If 90 pages, it's a profit for the end user, but it is really a loss for the company. We try to convince them in implementing this RFID tags, but they were so stubborn in that till date they have not implemented that. Even for 5 years, they are not open to implement that. You won't believe the turnover of the factory is 600 crores, but still 5 years is not in place. So that is the situation of our country. So we need to educate ourselves. We need to understand what is RFID. Because when you implement RFID, you must understand what is present value, what is your future value, and what is the value that you can take in implementing RFID. Either it is of a social value or it is a real value. You must understand what is a value or what is a return on investment that you can take from implementing RFID. So it's a beyond our call. It takes at least 10 or 20 years.
Sir, another question.
Yes, sir.
RFID, is it effective on liquids?
Sir, actually, it is still. I have the doubt because RFID tags are not still waterproof, right? So what they can do is they can attach the tag. It will be not valued in liters. Maybe it will be assessed in terms of weight, because 1 liter you cannot assess. You need some measurement devices. But what they can do is you can see what is the weight of 1 liter, and then slowly you can do it. But as far as my concerned, I have not seen any such case studies in liquid management.
Okay, sir. Another one. Is there any possibility of Wi-Fi disturbance over RFID process?
Yeah, actually, it is it completely works in I mean kind of a wireless Wi-Fi only, sir. So you don't have to worry about that particular Wi-Fi. That is what I was initially discussing about. One of the most important concern of RFID is it can be read by anyone with a compatible reader, which results in less security. So what you can do is you must have firewalls. There are many firewalls coming in to India now after this pandemic. I can really see many cybersecurity companies are really coming inside. They are plunging inside. So once you have that kind of because everything works in Wi-Fi, right? Even when you miracast your screen to your TV, you need a Wi-Fi devices, right? So that will also and with the same Wi-Fi device, you will have to access YouTube too. So it is not about the Wi-Fi. It is all about the security. Through that Wi-Fi or through that channel, your system can be collapsed unless you have a proper security system in place.
Uh, Amar sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
is it being used on living body so far?
Yeah, there are some case studies where they're being using in animals. I was discussing, right? They used to have RFID tags in animals, in cows. In Australia, they are using it, and in some cases, they have tested with soldiers also in monitoring their devices. But it is not like having your battalion or regiment center in one place and sending out to your soldiers to some other places. That can be tracked by GPS. But in that particular range, in war range, I mean, the battleground RFIDs can really work because you have, I mean, the range accessible to that soldiers. So you can use it in that way, sir.
And another one, sir.
Yes, sir.
And we have a cardless payment system nowadays in so
Yes, sir.
many shops.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it in the same kind of platform or is it different from RFID?
Uh, so cardless in the sense you say like
In credit
how,
card or debit card, you can pay amount without swiping it.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, it is the same, sir. It is same. It is using the same kind of frequency transmission. It is
Then
all
what
the
about
way.
the safety of the money?
That is what really people are really concerned about it. Because when you have that access for your card, then it is a question mark, right? And that is why still people have not completely implemented it. So you need firewalls. Your either the card should have some kind of a firewall. It has to give access through numbers, or kind of authentication should be in place. Otherwise, it's a threat. It's a very big threat, sir.
Is another question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it the chip fixed in the card and RFID same, or is it in some other
No,
way?
no. Actually, a similar kind of processor. In cards, you have a SIM card, right? One thing that you
No,
have
sir.
it in your cell phones. A
Yes,
kind of
yes.
a in debits and credit card, you have a kind of a SIM card processor, and in RFID, you have the same similar kind of a tag. It's just a microchip, right? So it's a microchip where it will have a small memory devices to store all this product information, and there must be a small kind of facility to receive and send the communications to antenna. That is different, sir. This is different. That is different.
Okay, sir. So what
Yes,
about
sir.
the payment towards from on the watches, payment watches? I saw the advertisement recently.
Okay.
Titan has introduced a payment watch in India first time,
Oh,
and on what basis it works?
payment watch, sir.
Yes,
I think I'm not really sure about that because I have yet to watch that particular thing. But can you just explain what it is, sir? So maybe I can relate it to my topic, RFID.
yes, yes. In the RFID, it shares the information while scanning it. In the
Okay.
same way, it's applicable for payment also.
Okay. 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 Okay.
If
Okay. Okay.
if someone able to pay
Yes.
by using his watch,
Okay. Okay.
that is also works similar to RFID. But is it
Okay.
the
Okay.
same platform or
Sir,
some other platform?
actually, RFID and all the other things are a microchip. A microchip. So a microchip is the one that we were discussing, but with different limitations. So for example, RFID, right, it gets access through an antenna, and the data which is being stored can be read by a reader, and that reader stores the data in your system. This is how the RFID map really works. Okay, right. So when it comes to other devices, chips, and other things, they have a similar kind of compatible devices where they'll have a reader, antenna, and a device. So the concept for all kind of wireless communication is very simple. You'll have only three components. One is the reader to access what it is. Then you must have some antenna so that will facilitate your transmissions, and then you must have one device, or a kind of a microchip. I mean the memory device to store all the variable informations of your product. Similarly, this can be utilized in all other forms.
In case
Yes,
of barcodes, there are so many apps we can
yes,
use
sir.
in mobile phone to scan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is there any apps available for RFID also?
No, sir. No, sir. RFID is something which we need to do it on our own. For example, for RFID, for barcode, as you said, it can be generated anywhere, right? So you just need to type your name or website. Even in cell phone, there is one particular app where you can give your personal information, your website, and everything, and you can send it to other devices. So when people scan it, your barcodes and other things, people will be directed to that link. But for RFID, it is kind of a software which you need to purchase because you need a tag, right? So for example, if Samsung is giving out a RFID tag, they will give you the same software or the application which has to be used on your mobile or in your desktop. So the providers, RFID tag providers, will be giving you that kind of software, sir, because you need to transmit, right? That is how it works.
Okay, sir. It's a very useful presentation from your side.
Thank
and we learned a lot of new things from your side in RFID. I thought
you. Yes,
it's
sir.
only for product. Now only I realized that it's applicable on living bodies also.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I started with animals, and very soon we can expect in human body also.
Yeah, 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 definitely, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you for
Yeah.
the end note session. And
Thank you, sir.
for participants, I have shared the feedback link in the chat room. Just don't forget to post it. Thank you. Thank you all for the participation. And thank you, Omar, sir. Thank you once
Thank you,
again.
sir. Thank you, PSNA, for this opportunity. Thank you, Department of Management Studies. Thank you, Sabri Rajan, sir, and Venkatesh, sir. And thank you, all the participants. It's been a tough time, right? Because, afternoon, sitting in a webinar and to listen about supply chain management and RFID is really a tough challenge. But I made sure somehow I managed to give you some insights. If you have any doubts or if you have any clarifications, you can get my contact number from Professor Sabri Rajan, sir, and you may contact me directly. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.